Yo, 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 welcome, my lovely crewmates. Today we are commenting and reacting to my favorite fan fiction tropes that I enjoy reading and or talking about and looking at. I enjoy quite a bit of fan fiction. One of my favorite pastimes. And here are just some simple ones that I found, a simple tier list. I'll link this technical tier maker down in the description below if you guys want to give it a shot for your own fanfiction tropes. But let's, without further ado, get into the video. Alright, so controversial as it may be, I do read alpha, beta, and omega fanfictions. I'm going to be explaining why I read it. It isn't because of the alpha and omega beta thing. It's more so, I guess you could say it's like the domineering and then like the no, like I love this person so much I can't control myself, but I love them enough to control myself type of aspect. It's just that given that the duality of being an alpha and the omega type thing that you can see. Me personally, I say most times in my fanfiction, I usually maybe, if I read like 7 fan fictions for 7 days, and each one of them, I say maybe 3 out of the 7 days, I will probably maybe read the same OBA fix that I read previously. I usually try not to read new ones because usually they're a little sus. So I'm gonna say for me, this one is like a B. Next up is amnesia fic, where one of the characters maybe forget their memories. Me personally, I don't like this trope. Most of the time, because I usually see this and there are pairings where it wouldn't happen in the fandom, and it's usually very manipulative, where they fall in love with like Stockholm syndrome of some sort, and or it's like a villain falling in love with the hero, and I usually really don't like reading those type of fics. So me personally, this will be going into D tier. Angst, the pain, the suffering, I'm going to put this in top tier. There's not much to explain. You love good suffering. Next up is arranged marriage fics. If honest, the most arranged marriage fics you guys can say I read is surprisingly only in Naruto. And that's usually if I do like the Warring States era in Naruto. And I would do this for like a variety of different pairings within that time frame. So, and usually it's just really just for the shits and giggles. And I would say like this is fine. I feel like this one's okay. This is an A tier. Usually the arranged marriage ones and the Naruto ones are usually the ones that are really long and lengthy. And if you read fanfiction, you know that finding long fanfiction that are complete done is hard. This is where I get my fix. Is usually with Naruto, Warring States era, and arranged marriage. Baby fix. So, I don't do this. I don't do this for multiple reasons. The first reason is because this is going to be controversial. I personally don't, when I do original characters, usually, especially original characters that are children of said main characters, I don't tend to enjoy the OC baby as much because a lot of the time, as you know, I'm not going to say it's Mary Sue or anything like that. It's just, for me, I find it a little off-putting when you put yourself as a child of 2 main characters that you then had get together and had your OC baby child. For me, I personally don't like it. Sharing a bed, I don't know what it means by this. I'm a little bit behind on the fan fiction train, but if you mean like they're sharing a bed and then they fall in love or they had a romance and people think they're together, I don't find a problem with this. This one is another one of those, yeah, that's an arranged marriage type stuff that they ended up having a situationship where they ended up together because people misunderstand the situation and thought they were together. This one, I don't understand either, bang or die. And and I don't know if bang or die means that they have to do the do or they will die, if this is like a Hanahaki type situation or something along those same lines. And if that is the case, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I don't go out of my way to look at it. Body swap. So, I'm going to put this in the same way as I put it in manga. There's many mangas that manga, novels where they end up switching bodies. And it's usually some type of misunderstanding, seeing the female body. It's like your name. And it gets, for me, I find it gets weird. I feel like it gets weird. And I personally don't like this one. If it's not, so I don't read. So for me, I don't read fanfics from like Kimi no Nawa or Your Name, and where they have this as already into the source material. I personally wouldn't think of body swapping two characters that I wanted to ship together or have a romantic relationship, because that means I have to remember that they're in each other's body, or what is the catalyst for that. And me personally having to remember that is why something happened, I would never remember. So I would put this as D tier. I personally wouldn't read it. I personally don't have any qualms about it if people like it. It's just more so that that's not something that I would go out of my way to read. So I'm a sucker for coffee shop AUs. I'm not gonna lie. Any anime, manga, show, you can put them in a coffee shop, make them all soft and domestic, and I will eat it up. I don't know what about coffee shops just make me very happy and very into it, the mood for reading a fic. I think one of my favorite coffee shop AUs, I guess you could say, is, I think I want to say it was for like Bleach. And it was Grimjow and Ichigo. Oh, hi Ichigo, hi Strawberry. Like, I ate that up. I did eat that up. College AU. So, me personally, no. For animes, I never do a college AU at all. The only college AUs that I typically do is when I'm reading a TV show based alternate universe fic. And usually it has to do with supernatural, or I think it's no, it's not Hannibal, because usually it's supernatural and Teen Wolf. That's the only ones that I would really go out of my way to read as a college AU. So this one is very situational, and it's literally dependent on the fandom that I'm reading the fanfic for. Like anime, I don't do it. Books, I don't do it. TV shows are usually the only ones that I do it for, because those are the main three categories that I do it for. And then maybe sometimes with a few cartoons, if like they have it there. And by that I mean I think it's like a Batman type situation when I want to focus in on technically like Dick Grayson and just have Dick, and it's technically a college AU because, you know, Dick. But basically I just wanted to be focused on Dick, and then he's in a college type situation. Crack fics, I don't read these. I don't enjoy these whatsoever. They are not my cup of tea in the slightest. I do not enjoy reading these things, mainly because sometimes it's just a little too much for my taste. So I'll put it down here as I never really read. Next up, crossovers. I don't mind a good crossover, but it usually, if it's in an anime, it has to be similar in premise. And by that, I think if the show has demons in it, I'll read the show if it has demons in it. Like if it's a Blue Exorcist crossover with Inuyasha, I'll read it. The shows have to have some type of underlying element that make them similar. Like one of my biggest things that I dislike is a lot of earlier shows, fandoms, their crossovers will often be with Harry Potter. And I'd be like, oh, that's okay. I would never really read them, but it was just there's a large abundance of Harry Potter crossovers that I just scratch my head at and just be like, this is kind of weird. So crossovers, I'll put for C for crossovers. Dark fic. Once again, I don't know if you mean like this is kind of gory, bloody, and like harming and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't enjoy fics that are necessarily bloody, gory, or stuff like that, or really intense like that. So me personally, I would say I probably wouldn't read it. Just me, I probably definitely wouldn't read it. Major character death. So oftentimes, if you guys are following plots of like fandoms that have major character death, that's usually when this tag comes up and pops up. Otherwise, I've never really seen it pop up in fan fiction other than those instances, and I would probably say this is like a B tier. I mean, if it's following the fandom, it's like if it's canon compliant, and I see this tag, okay, I'm like, okay, yeah. So the characters that did die are going to continue to be dead, and type situation. So I don't think this is like a turn off or something that will make me, oh, I probably won't read it as some of the other ones will. Canon divergence. I love when you diverge from canon, usually just because this means that my favorite character won't die. I'm looking at you, One Piece. I'm waiting for more people to write more One Piece fan fiction where my favorite character does not end up dead and doesn't end up being a donut. So I enjoy this. This one is one of the top tier ones. I do enjoy it because usually it revolves me being kind of like a fix it fic. Like right here, I can't wait till we get here because that's going up here with this one. I'm gonna just slide that there because it's the same thing. These two go hand in hand for me. If it's not a canon divergence or a fix it fix, I usually don't see these two tags because I usually want my favorite characters to come back from the dead, or a certain situation like in Naruto, where Naruto will say, I want to read a Madara centered fic or an Itachi centered fic. They usually have to do some type of canon divergence where they go back and have a situation not happen and they have to think of the situation and how it has. And even myself, and when I'm writing, like I'm doing it currently in one of my fan fictions that I'm writing is an Itachi fix-it fix where Itachi doesn't kill the Uchiha clan, and basically I'm trying to figure out how do I get them not to kill the Uchiha clan, and that's some things that I'm struggling with as me as a writer, not just saying anything. Enemies to lovers. So for this one can be very controversial. One of the ones that I commonly see, two enemies and lovers, is Harry, Hermione Granger, and Draco Malfoy. I despise that couple, with a passion of 1,000 suns. I usually don't really see enemies to lovers as a tag that I per se read because most of the time the couples that or my OTPs that I ship or I would like to have together usually are some type of friends or they're on good standings before they get together. So for me, the enemies to lovers is okay. I don't really read it. I don't think it's something that really pops up as far as I'm concerned from when I'm reading my fan fiction. Establish relationships. So, I don't read this unless it's a continuation fic. Like there's a part that's like the fic that's completed and they want to make a part 2 of it, talking more about the story. That's usually only when I see the established relationship part, and or it's a canon couple and they already have established and they're continuing on like a day-to-day life or something they wish to change. Post credit scenes type situation. So I'm gonna put this one again as C. Fairy Tale AU. This was another one that I don't see. I don't really read fairy tale AUs where it's like Cinderella or someone where they have those kind of tropes. I don't enjoy those. Don't get me wrong, there's like this show, like Once Upon a Time, that did like this thing, like as a fairy tale type of alternate universe where all the storybook stories were together. I enjoyed that. Would I enjoy it basically with say like Naruto or in One Piece or Inuyasha? Not really. I couldn't really see it happening. Not really. Not my problem. Fake relationships. This one is my cup of tea. And I really enjoy this because I do see a lot of one of like how I end up getting into. So let me put it this way: how, for me, when I was reading Kingdom Hearts fan fiction, is I read a fake relationship where Axel and Roxas ended up being in a fake relationship because technically Sora and Riku, who Sora was Riku, not Roxas's brother, said you should come on a double date with me, and he was like, but I don't have anyone. And but you just told mom that you had a boyfriend, and so you were lying. He was like, no, I wasn't lying, and basically he asked his best friend Axel, hey, can you like be my +1 for this double date? And he's like, sure, why not? And basically, and they hit it off, and then they got together, and then yeah, the rest is history. And that kind of got me into the Roxas Axel fan fiction, even the Sora Riku fan fiction, couple type OTPs type stuff. Next up is fluff. It's fluff, it's soft goodness that, you know, when the world is bleak, you need the good fluff. Friends to lovers. Usually for this one, I'm not gonna lie, My Hero Academia, I would usually do this for Kirishima and Bakugo, just because it usually gets a little bit like that slow burn. Another one that when I used to read it was Harry Potter, and it would be Sirius and Remus Lupin would be the Friends to Lovers category that I would usually find myself reading for. So I'm gonna put that in A tier. I don't know what it means by Jin fic. I don't really know, so I'm gonna put this as D because I really don't know. I don't have a slightest clue what this is. Hurt and Comfort, I do enjoy. It's very nice. You get to see them hurting, and then you get to see their lover comfort them. It's really, really nice. Historical AU, this one is another one like the fairy tale AU. Is like I don't know if this means like we're putting them in IRL historical context, or if we're doing historical content in terms of fandoms or the show. If it's in the fandoms or the show, sure, but a lot of the times that stuff isn't really all that fleshed out, so usually I don't typically read this. And then if it's IRL historical stuff, that is in itself just okay. Why? High school AU. No, most, like I said, I don't put situations where the high school of a show, if it's a high school anime like My Hero Academia, I would keep them in high school. Or age them up where they're already pro heroes type stuff. I would look into stuff like that. Or having a complete alternate universe where they're adults, but they're doing stuff that aren't pro hero work, and they got rid of the complete pro heroes and power type mechanics. High school AUs, though, I typically do not read unless the setting is in high school. And My Hero Academia, I feel like it's the only high school one that I really read other than Bleach, because technically Ichigo and them are in high school, and where they're in high school, and I would read where Ichigo would be with Grimmjow if Grimmjow and all of the rest of everyone were, you know, age appropriately put in high school type settings, you know, that type of stuff. But even then, it's just more so I probably wouldn't really read it unless they're already established in a high school and I want to read for some reason them being in a high school. Huddle for Warmth. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna put this in D tier. This is gonna be another one that I'm like, don't know, don't want to know. Humor. Well, everyone likes a good laugh. I don't feel like usually when people make fan fiction, they usually go for humor as one of their tags. I usually don't do funny, haha, hee hee type stuff. Vino Veritas. I have no idea what that means. Confession something. I don't know what that means. Drunken Confession. Okay, I think that's what it means. If this is Drunken Confessions, it goes in B tier. If it's not, it goes here in D. So for now, because I don't really know what that means, it is D. D because I'm confused. D for confusion. Alright, First Kissed. I enjoy this, especially if characters don't have their first kiss or it's not on screen. And this means if it's a romance anime, usually they have a kiss. But I'm saying like if you read like fanfiction, like Naruto has his first kiss with Sasuke. Like that type of stuff, if like the first kiss end up making it be what it was. Like if it was like I guess a One Piece one for whatever reason, and you see one of your Luffy's first kiss was like, I don't know, um Law, I think, is one of their most popular ships. Like that's fine. Like if you want that, yes. But for me, if I usually don't see this as a tag. This is one of the ones that I'm like, why is this here? But I'm like, if it's an side, like an OTP, like me, my OTP of Ace and Marco and their first kiss comes up as a tag, I wouldn't be too surprised. But I'm saying a first kiss, like for anything else, is like, okay, that's fine. If it's not a canon, they have a canon first kiss on screen. Magic AU. I don't mind Magic AUs. They're fun. I do love a good magic slice of life. But like I said, if magic is already in the universe, I usually expect magic. I don't really think I read Magic AU. Next up is missing communication. Miscommunication. So, I'm a hater for miscommunication. Do I often have miscommunication problems with my friends, my family, my loved ones? Yes. But as miscommunication happens in romance, or it could be fixed with taking a deep breath and asking for clarification and stuff like that, I really feel that miscommunication does not need to be something that's constantly happening, especially in reading. Even as I'm reading some romance books, there are certain times where problems will arise in the books, and I'm like, this miscommunication did not need to happen. I'm tired of the miscommunication that creates problems. Missing scenes, I have no idea what this means, so it's going in D tier for I don't know, and the ones that I'm like, I don't like. Mutual pining. I do like when they fall in love with each other and then they think that they don't like each other back. I do enjoy a good mutual pining. Sex pollen. This, I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna clarify. I'm just gonna keep moving on. Pregnancy fic. I don't like when a lot of stories use pregnancy as it was an accidental pregnancy, and that becomes how they get together. A lot of the time, it's not for me. Okay, so I have some strong stances on this. It's mostly because yes, pregnancy can sometimes be seen as an accident, that if you're not careful and so forth, if you're, sometimes it may not work out how you planned. If you're using pregnancy as a plot device to start a story of any kind, I will not be the one that will be, sadly. I do not know what PWP means, so I'm going to put that here in D for don't know what it is and probably won't understand. Royal AU. So I enjoy a good Royal AU. And I usually only read this for maybe 1 to 2 fandoms, really. And one of them is because My Hero Academia made an alternate artwork. The creator made it where they're in like a D&D fantasy setting and they have royalty. That's where that one came in. And then the other one is just in general, one that I read a few of them of and then I really enjoyed it was Teen Wolf. And that's usually, for some reason, they make them like the Hale family. If it's a Hale alive family fic, they would usually make them a royalty from some of them alternate universe. I would say B. I really do enjoy it. I like to watch it. I like to read it. It's really fun. Slow burn. I like a good slow burn. It's like manga, romance manga for books, for TV shows. I do enjoy a good slow burn. And fan fiction as well. I do enjoy a good slow burn. Soulmate AU, I eat this shit up. I don't care. It doesn't matter what fandom. It doesn't matter what the couple is. If you do a soulmate AU and you do it perfectly where it makes sense, you give me character development, you give me the pining, the slow burn, the little bit of fluff, that little bit of angst, the hurt and comfort. You got me. You got me. I will eat that up. Because a lot of soulmate AUs have multiple different things and they just go together. time loop. I do not fuck with the time travel. If there's time travel in your fic, it better be the characters from the future coming into the past, and they're like reading the story of how to change the future, looking at Percy Jackson and Harry Potter for this shit, because that's mostly when I see this time travel type aspect here, and that's usually the only time that I will read it. I don't like love triangles. I really don't. They're one of my most hated things in romance manga. It's one of my most hated things in romance books. I hate love triangles because at the end of the day, only one of them is going to be together with that one. And usually it's the one that is a prick that ends up with the person that they like. And then the other one who is a good golden puppy that you're like, you should have really ended up with that one, that gets shafted and doesn't even have a love interest future and later on. So, D, because I hate that sometimes they get shafted. Unhappy ending. Not all stories have to be happy. Not all stories have to be sad. But that being said, unhappy endings usually are fine with me. Do I see this as a tag when I'm reading fan fiction? Not really. Would I mind seeing it? Not really. It will probably be fun to read an unhappy ending fan fiction? Probably. Have I read one? Not that I'm aware of. So, I've never read any. Would I be fine with seeing an unhappy ending fanfic? Yeah, it'd be fine. Last but certainly not least, unrequited love. This goes hand in hand with this love triangle, the unhappy ending, and just basically when there's multiple lovers here, and somebody's not having love. Someone's not getting it, and sadly there is some unrequited love that can happen. Like I said, it might be something that's prevalent in your stories. It's not prevalent when I read my fan fiction. And so, yeah. I am all done with all of these. I hope you guys enjoyed this fan fiction tropes list. If you guys made it to the end of this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, my dear crewmates. If you guys do like this kind of content, consider checking me out when I'm live. I do love talking about fan fictions, and I'm trying to put myself more into my comfort element of talking about these things. So feel free to come and catch me live. I do my streams live on YouTube and on twitch.tv/lunaorionvt. So please do come if you do enjoy the content. I will see you guys all again soon, my dear crewmates. This has been your Couching Luna saying goodbye for now.